This is the Podcast in the Rough. Tune in every Friday for new adventurous episodes. Welcome back to another episode of the Podcast in the Rough. I'm your host, Zebulon Thomas, and this is episode 158. I've put this episode together to talk about a dynamic and rapidly growing field, social media content creation. If you're thinking about diving into this world, you've come to the right place. I put this together to break down the roles of content creators, creative strategists, editors, producers, and filmmakers, in which I've been them all at one point, and now I have superpowers. Yes, I now have the role of all of these inside my career as a commercial videographer, a creative strategist, and a content creator. So wearing all these hats, I can tell you firsthand that there's a lot of opportunity here, but if you've not built yourself up to handle this kind of workload, pressure, opportunities, success, disadvantages, advantages, yada, 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 then I wouldn't recommend stepping into this as a hybrid and put them all together. However, I am going to cover the key differences, advantages, and disadvantages, and discuss which roles are likely to be in the highest demand in the coming years. So if this is something you're interested in, stay tuned. Let's dive in. We're going to talk about content creators. Content creators are the backbone of social media. They produce a wide range of content, including videos, blogs, podcasts, and social media posts, all designed to engage and entertain their audience. Some of the key responsibilities of a content creator include ideal generation, brainstorming and coming up with fresh, engaging content ideas, content production, creating, filming, writing, and recording content, and audience engagement, interacting with your followers, responding to comments, and building a community. Some of the advantages of being a content creator include creative freedom. Content creators have the liberty to express their ideas and bring their unique visions to life. Direct audience feedback. They get to immediate reactions from their audience and can help guide your content strategy. They also have flexibility. Many content creators enjoy flexible schedules and the ability to work from anywhere. Now, some of the disadvantages of being a content creator includes inconsistent income. Especially in the beginning, income can be unpredictable. But if you're an entrepreneur, you'll be just fine because you'll know how to pivot and adapt in any situation. But you definitely have to get the motor running. High competition is another disadvantage. With so many creators out there, standing out can be challenging. But if you have a unique skill, a great vision, and you're ready to put in the work, you can definitely stand out. Self-promotion is another disadvantage because a significant amount of time and effort goes into marketing yourself and your content. You might have some clients that you've brought on, so continuously marketing for yourself is going to be a challenge because you're going to be very busy on the projects that people have hired you for. So you'll have to be really good at time management. So if you're looking to get into being a content creator, here's an example of what that looks like. Consider YouTubers who produce daily vlogs, Instagram influencers sharing lifestyle content, or bloggers writing about niche topics. Each of these creators must continuously innovate to keep their audience engaged. If this is something that sounds exciting for you and you're up for the challenge, then a content creator is the role that you want to follow. Now let's talk about creative strategists. These professionals are the brains behind successful content campaigns. They analyze market trends, understand audience behavior, and develop comprehensive content strategies to meet business objectives. I became an in-demand creative strategist right in the middle of the pandemic. I shifted and pivoted as an entrepreneur and found myself right in the middle of a lot of companies, and I helped them grow their businesses during the pandemic. The role of a creative strategist firsthand is extremely fun, but at the same time, it is extremely stressful. One of the things I want to point out before I talk about the key responsibilities are when you're a creative strategist and you've been hired by a company, you're going to be moving around the company, talking to all departments of that company, all different people that work there, and all the way up the chain. And you're going to find yourself maybe butting heads with the CEO, the CFO, the owner of the company, the executives, the marketing team. You're going to be finding yourself working with them as well. The butting head part comes into play because from experience, I'd be jumping on these Zoom calls or walk into a meeting to get certain information and start to build what I need. And I have to give some tasks to people that don't take orders from anybody because they're at the top. And so that's where the butting head comes in. Hey, I'm going to need this from you, Roger. Roger's like, who are you? What do you do? What do you think you're doing? At least that's what the experience looked like for me several times, time and time again. And it kept getting more crazy and more in demand, especially when I started working with celebrities. Everybody's on different agendas, everybody has different tasks, and everything's a crazy mess inside some of these companies. So you just have to put your blinders on, your head down, and plow through and make sure you're just being polite and you find a way to mesh into the culture of the company. Some of the key responsibilities of a creative strategist: market research, analyzing data to understand trends and audience preferences; strategy development, creating content plans that align with the brand's goals; and performance analysis, monitoring the success of content campaigns and making adjustments as needed. I call this pivoting. Making adjustments is something that was never going to happen in any of the companies I worked for. We literally ran things down to the wire and then saw things shift immediately during the pandemic, and we had to pivot. Making adjustments would have threw us off course. You got to be fast with it. Some of the advantages of being a creative strategist: high demand. Businesses need effective content strategists to stay competitive. It's very important. Impactful work. Your strategies can significantly influence a brand's success. If you're not doing it right, you can significantly tank the business. To all the companies out there hiring strategists, I highly recommend that you look into the strategists that are really good at what they do and stop looking at if they have a degree or not. There's plenty of strategists who hold a degree but have no field experience and don't know what it's like to pivot at last minute to save a business in trying times. So I'd highly advise that you start looking at if they have a degree, that's awesome. But if they have field experience and years under their belt and a track record of success, that's the one you want to go with. For those of you who have a degree, go out there, grind a little bit in the field, get some success under your belt, and show that track record. Diverse opportunities. As a creative strategist, you can work with various industries from tech to fashion to finance. Disadvantages of a creative strategist: you have less creative control. Your focus is more on strategy than actual content creation. Now, as a filmmaker, which we're going to talk about that later, this is where it really hurt me as a creative strategist because I love to have my hands in the pot of the creative process, and creating the strategies was amazing. And then when it got to the content part, if I didn't hold the keys to that, then it fell apart if they didn't have the right person in place. Luckily for me, I shifted when I noticed this, and I became not just a creative strategist, but I became head of productions for many of these companies. And that gave me both roles to be able to control the overall success of the projects. High expectations is another disadvantage of being a creative strategist. You're expected to deliver measurable results, and that is very demanding and challenging. Continuous learning. The digital landscape is always changing, requiring you to stay up to date on the latest trends. Now, if this is something you love, you eat, sleep, and breathe, being creative strategists, this is going to be very easy for you because you're obsessed over it. And that's what you want to look for, is someone who's a creative strategist that is obsessed with success and their career. If you're new to this could be overwhelming at the beginning. So it is a disadvantage to have to continuously learn all the aspects of your responsibilities. Here's an example of a creative strategist. A creative strategist might develop a social media campaign for a new product launch, ensuring that the right content reaches the right audience at the right time to maximize engagement and sales. If this is something that excites you, then dive into the role of a creative strategist. Now let's talk about editors. Editors are the polishers of the content creation world. They take the raw content and refine it into a final product that is engaging, error-free, and aligned with the creator's vision. Some of the key responsibilities include content review, checking for grammatical errors, consistency, and overall quality. Editing, refining written, audio, or video content to ensure clarity and impact. And collaboration, working closely with content creators to ensure the final product meets expectations. Some of the advantages of being an editor: attention to detail. This role is perfect for those who enjoy perfecting and refining content. High demand. Quality content is essential, and skilled editors are always in need. So keep that in mind if you're looking to dive into this. You have high demand. Variety of work. Editors can work on a wide range of projects, from articles to videos to podcasts. Now, some of the disadvantages of being an editor: time consuming. Editing can be a meticulous and lengthy process. Less creative input. You're enhancing others' ideas rather than creating your own. So you're kind of taking a back seat there on the creative process. Pressure. Tight deadlines often require fast yet accurate work. And this is something I experienced firsthand as well. You had to get it done. You had to get it done right now. We were always down to the wire. It was always last minute and was always almost too late. So you were constantly having to do impossible tasks and hit a home run every single time. Here's an example of an editor. Think of video editors who work on YouTube videos, ensuring smooth transitions, clean audio, visually appealing effects, or copy editors who refine blog posts and articles to ensure they are engaging and error-free. Next up, I want to talk about producers. Producers are the organizers of the content creation world. They manage everything from pre-production to post-production, coordinating between different team members to ensure the projects stay on schedule and within budget. Some of the key responsibilities of a producer: project management, overseeing the entire production process; budgeting, managing the financial aspects of a budget; team coordination, working with writers, directors, editors, and other team members to bring the project to life. Some of the advantages of a producer: leadership role. Producers often take charge and lead teams to success. Diverse responsibilities. The role involves managing various aspects of production. High demand. Skilled producers are essential for ensuring the smooth execution of content projects. Now the disadvantages of a producer. High stress. Managing multiple aspects of productions can be overwhelming. Less creative work. The focus is more on the logistics and management rather than the creative input. And long hours. The role often requires extended work hours to meet deadlines. And I will tell you this from experience, I was working all day, every day to get these companies to where they need to be. But I'm extremely proud of the work I put in and the continuous upgrades that I experienced in my career by being able to put myself under the pressure, behind the line, and hit a home run. I built up thick skin, I learned a lot, and now I have those superpowers, so it's good. Here's an example of a producer. A producer might oversee the creation of a commercial, coordinating between the client, the creative team, and the production crew to ensure the final product meets all requirements and is delivered on time. Now let's talk about filmmakers. Filmmakers are visionaries who bring stories to life through film. They often work on large projects such as movies, documentaries, and high production value content. Some of the key responsibilities of a filmmaker include storytelling, developing compelling narratives and visualizing them on screen; directing, leading the cast and crew during production; post-production, overseeing the editing process to ensure the final product aligns with the original vision. Some of the advantages of being a filmmaker: creative fulfillment. Filmmakers have complete creative control over their projects. Storytelling, the opportunity to tell powerful stories and make a significant impact. Recognition, you have potential for critically acclaimed and industry recognition, which is going to be really good for your career in the long run. Some of the disadvantages of being a filmmaker include high budget. Film projects often require significant financial investment, complex logistics, coordinating large teams and resources. Uncertainty. Success can be unpredictable and projects can take years to complete. Here's an example of a filmmaker. Think of directors like Christopher Nolan or indie filmmakers who create compelling short films or documentaries. Their work requires a combination of creative vision, technical skills, and meticulous planning. Now, bringing all these roles together, I feel this would fall under two main roles: Chief Executive Creative Strategist and Head of Productions. And that is what I've been hired by all these companies throughout the pandemic and currently to my selective top-tier clients with exciting projects that I assign to. My job is to go in as a creative strategist and head of productions and wear all of these hats, playing the roles and responsibilities of each one of these areas. And by doing this, this gives me the ability to be a super producer and allows me to get projects done with deadlines that are almost impossible. Now, this doesn't always save the company money, but it saves them time and it gets them results, immediate results. So they might hire a lot of people to build a team to wear all of these different hats. Bringing someone like myself, who's extremely skilled and diverse in all of these areas with a track record of success, will not save them money, but it will get them where they need to go and allow them to pivot. So if you're a company looking for someone like myself to get the job done in a very fast manner and you have tasks and you're behind the line, then hiring someone to be the Chief Executive Creative Strategist and the Head of Production is where you're looking. Now, if you're someone looking to get into this role, I would highly recommend starting out with filmmaking, and that'll lead into content creating and all the other opportunities that we talked about here. Now, I want to talk about what roles are expected to be in high demand in the coming years. As digital media continues to evolve, the need for skilled professionals in these fields will only grow. Now, here's some of my predictions. Creative strategist. With business increasingly relying on data-driven content strategies, the demand for a creative strategist who can analyze trends and develop effective plans will rise. Video editors and filmmakers. The consumption of video content is skyrocketing, from YouTube to TikTok to streaming services. Skilled video editors and filmmakers will be essential for producing high-quality content. Producers. As content production scale up, the need for efficient project management will increase. Producers who can oversee complex projects and coordinate diverse teams will be highly sought after. And content creators. While the competition is high, unique, engaging content creators will always find an audience. The key is to find a niche and consistently deliver value. I would say with the content creator, you're going to find your own value. You're going to create your own community, and you won't need to attach to businesses unless you want to. Instead, you will grow your own thing, and it's going to be extremely challenging, but at least you'll be 100% in control of the success or failure of your business. Now, here's the final thought for this episode. So whether you're a content creator, a strategic thinker, an editor, a producer, or a filmmaker, there's a place for you in the world of social media content creation. Each role has its unique advantages and challenges, but the potential for growth and success is immense. The key is to find what aligns with your skills and passion and continuously strive to improve and adapt. From my experience, as an entrepreneur, filmmaker who has worn all of these hats, played all of these roles, started my career from the bottom and watched it evolve over time with endless opportunities, finding amazing financial abundance, not without fail, not without challenges, and not without experiencing a lot of loss. I will say that the benefits outweigh the bad. As long as you maintain your mental health, your physical health, and you give yourself the proper amount of time to take breaks, enjoy your life, then any one of these roles are going to be best for you. And you're going to have a great time doing it. Just make sure that you know up front what the intention of the people that you're attaching to, the companies, the projects, and the outcome. And if it aligns with you and what you're about and your morals, your vision, then you're going to do very well and you're going to have a lot of fun. Remind yourself this one thing. If it's not fun at all, don't do it. There is plenty of other 9-to-5, crappy job, crappy opportunities, crappy situations for you to spend your time on if you just want to do that. Go out there, find your base, get something that gives you financial freedom, and then grow that so you have the ability to pick and choose what clients you work with and what projects you work on. And the whole time, it might be challenging. There might be a lot of stress in those environments. But if you remind yourself to lead and set the intent to have fun and learn something new and add massive value, you're going to be just fine. And with that, I want to thank all of you for tuning in to this episode of the Podcast in the Rough. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving me a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, or go to thepodcastintherough.com and choose the platform you're listening to this podcast on and leave a review. I appreciate all your support, and I'm here to give you the most value from my experience over the course of my career, right here in the Podcast in the Rough. Stay tuned for more episodes where we continue to explore the fascinating world of content creation, podcasting, and how to help you find something to leverage for success. Until next time, take care. This is the Podcast in the Rough.